you all today. It is a joy to be with you all today. Big ups to NAMI New York for just doing the great work and making sure the field stays alive within this alliance. And I'm just glad to be connected with you all and just adopted in. As far as my role and who I am, again, my name is Kenya Phillips. I am a peer-to-peer state trainer. That was my point of interest as far as how I am connected with you all today. I'm also the NAMI National Programs Support Group Manager, as well as I am trained in all signature programs for peer, meaning I'm also, in addition to the peer-to-peer, being a peer-to-peer state trainer and a connection support group state trainer and national trainer, I'm also ending the silence state trainer, as well as in our own voice. So I've been connected with NAMI since 2009, and I volunteered on a consistent basis. And then one doorway led to another doorway, and this is where I sit now with you all at the table. So thank you for letting me be with you. And what I'm going to do, because I totally believe in collaborative community, so what I want to do, with respect to the fact that it is what we call and what you all have noted to be called Wellness Wednesday, and we have 17 participants, including myself, who are on here, I would like for us to go around the virtual community, those who are able and those who are willing to share. Name one thing, say your name and something that makes today a day that is well for you. And I'm going to start us off because I believe in modeling what you're asking. So again, my name is Kenya, and the reason today is well for me is because I woke up and I heard the birds chirping. And for me, that makes me smile, as corny as it may sound. So would anybody else like to share why today is a Wellness Wednesday for them? And just do a, have your hand up, and that way I know to call on you. Or you could put it in the chat box too. Tracy.
Hi, I'm Tracy with Independent Living. I'm the Workforce Development Specialist, and I have 2 small children, and today is well for me because it is not bath night.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Yes.
For today.
I love it. Thank you. Is it Emil? Am I pronouncing it correctly?
It's Attainable. Yes. Okay.
Thank you.
Hi. Oh, I was just going to say, I mean, after a really cold, nasty April, we're finally getting some beautiful May weather, and just being outside today without a coat on was great. That's good enough for me. So I just enjoy this beautiful spring weather.
I know that's right. Something about that real spring weather. Yes. Would anybody else like to share? I'm going around.
I'm happy to. Oh,
go ahead and chime in. Go ahead.
My name is Allie Singer. And something that I am happy about today is that I get to take this training for my porch. Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm looking at the beautiful background you got going on too. Yeah. That's why I went, whoa.
And I have my parents, I'm taking care of my parents' dog this week. So I get to hang out with him and he can participate in the training.
That's what's up. Thank you for sharing it. And thank you for sharing your beautiful outdoors with us too. We're right there with you.
Okay, great.
Yes.
Thanks.
Anybody else like to share? Okay. Amanda?
The reason why I'm well today is also dog related. After work today, I'm going to be going over to my aunt and uncle's house and hanging out with their puppy. So.
Oh, that's huge.
Yeah.
Nothing like good old pet therapy and just getting to be. Yes.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Did I miss anyone who wanted to share? Oh, wait a minute. I think I did. Hold on. Tell me if I'm pronouncing correctly. I'm going to try. Is it Mustawet?
Yes.
Thank you. Would you like to share?
I'm Mustawet. This is my first time to join you. And I'm usually, because of my physical illness, I don't go out, and I'm happy to be with you. This is a great thing for me.
Thank you. You got me over here smiling. So thank you for sharing that.
Welcome.
Okay. If anybody would like to share in the, oh, I see some in the chat box too. Colleen says today is well for her because she is gardening. Oh, I'm jealous. Is it Lieta or Lieta? Okay, I see it. I am Lieta. Today is wellness for me because I took a walk outside. I know that's right. And then Brian says, my name is Brian and I'm well today because I got a good night's rest. It's nothing like good rest because that creates a sense of wellness. So thank you for sharing that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up my PowerPoint so that I can stay the task because I know how I get. So let me get that. All right, let's see. Can somebody let me know if they can see it?
I can see it.
We see it.
Okay, thank you. All right, again, today is Wellness Wednesday, and we've all shared, those who wanted to share why it is considered a Wellness Wednesday for them on a personal note. So thank you all for sharing. And those of you who didn't, it's okay, because guess what? We're all in collaborative community. So one of the things as it ties into Wellness Wednesday is SMART goals. Before we dive into the SMART goals component, I wanted to share some quotes about growth, because I believe growth and wellness go hand in hand, just as the transition of discussion to SMART goals go hand in hand. So I'm just going to quote some of these that stood out to me. One particularly, as you can see where the highlighter is going, Oprah Winfrey states, we can't become what we need to be by remaining what we are. Another one, Larry Bird, I've got a theory that if we give 100% all the time, somehow things will work out in the end. Albert Einstein, strive not to be a success, but rather to be of value. And then Warren Buffett, someone is still sitting in the shade today because someone planted a tree a long time ago. But I would be remiss if I did not mention another great person, not that all of these aren't great, is Maya Angelou. If you don't like something, change it. If you can't change it, change your attitude. So I'm just gonna pause and let us kind of look through those quotes, because it's nothing like having an affirmation for the day just to stay motivated and to stay the course of the day.
Do you mind just expanding the screen at the bottom of on the right hand, all the way to the right?
Right here?
Up.
Oh, my
that little like sign standing one that's on the right, just above the X.
Oh, wait a minute, it's blocked.
That one, yeah.
Right here?
Yes.
Ah, that made a difference. Thank you.
No problem.
All right, wait a minute.
You should be able to click to go to the next.
You already knew what I was about to ask.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Okay. So I'm gonna click now. I just want to give everybody a chance to look. And I think many of you had an opportunity to look through some of these and just kind of be able to process what your own personal growth statement is for you for today. Amen. Now, the question of the hour, what does SMART stand for? Does anyone know what SMART stands for? And we could put it in the chat box or we can say it out loud. If I see a hand raised, if somebody can help me if a hand raised and if someone wants to say what it means, that would be helpful. Just the acronym part. All right. So I'm gonna go into, let's see, anybody knows what SMART stands for? Okay, I think I see somebody put something in the chat box. Measurable and achievable, so that's part.
Timely.
Timely, specific,
Tracy has her hand raised. Tracy, did you want to say relevant?
very good. We have one that's missing. Anybody know what the T stands for? Or did they already say it?
I said timely.
Okay, so we have all of them. I was looking in the chat box. So yes, thank
Time
you.
bound, yeah.
Very good. So since everybody knows everything already, I'm just gonna go ahead and get off. I'm just playing. We're gonna go to the next slide, but I appreciate everybody chiming in. That's a very good start for us. All right, and this is again, going back to what does SMART stand for, which we've already stated. Specific, S stands for specific, M for measurable, A for attainable, R for realistic, and T for timely. So now I'm going to show a video and everything, and it just kind of gives a snapshot before we go into different exercises on how to approach SMART goals. I found this on YouTube, and I found it very intriguing and very powerful. Let's see if I enlarge.
If you want to succeed, you need to set goals. Without them, you lack focus and direction. They also provide you with a benchmark to determine whether or not you are actually succeeding at them. We all struggle sometimes to achieve our plans, and it's not that we lack the effort, but our goals are not structured efficiently. To accomplish your objective, you need to know how to set it up properly. You can't simply say, "I wish I could make more money," and expect it to happen. A goal without a plan is just a wish. It is also important to recognize that not all objectives are created equal. So today I'll explain the SMART method of goal setting and how it will amplify your chances of actually succeeding. Let's get started. S stands for specific. We all have plenty of dreams and goals, but most of them are all generalized and vague, so we don't really know how to achieve them. Your goal must be clear and well-defined. You can only get to where you want by defining precisely how you will get there. For example, let's take a look at this generalized wish. I want to be healthier, or I want to have a better body. What does all of this even mean? It's super vague and not specific enough. A better example would be, I'll replace drinking soda with water. I'll also be going to the gym 3 times a week for 45 minutes. You could be even more specific. 3 times per week could mean every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Every time at 3 p.m. Make it as specific as possible so you know what exactly you're going to be focusing on. M stands for measurable. Tracking the progress of your goal is an important part of keeping you motivated. It allows you to set milestones that you can celebrate when you achieve them and reevaluate when you don't. If your goal is simply defined as lose weight, how will you know when you have been successful? You need to define exactly how much weight you want to lose. A much better goal would be, I want to lose 10 pounds. This way you have something to aim for and you can even set smaller milestones along the way. Basically, you break that big objective into other smaller objectives. So if you think that 10 pounds is too much, you should break it down into manageable pieces. First, aim for 3 pounds, then another 3, all the way up to 10. It's the progress that keeps us motivated, so if you don't have a way to measure it, you will fail with your ambition. A stands for attainable. Make sure that it's possible to achieve the dreams you set for yourself. Far too many people fall into the trap of setting impossible goals. While they may push you forward for a while, you will almost certainly end up giving up on them. Instead of being impossible, your goals should be challenging yet achievable. There's nothing wrong with shooting for the stars, as you might end up at the moon. However, unless you want to burn out, it's much more efficient to take small steps. For example, making $1 million by the end of the month is impossible if you can't even pay your bills. A much more attainable goal would be making extra $100 by the end of the month. Once you have achieved that, you can go a step further and try making extra $200. You don't want to set yourself up for failure by trying to go far beyond the bounds of possibility. It will only make you miserable. R stands for relevant. Your plans should be relevant to the direction you want your life and career to take. A common issue we face is having too many goals at the same time or pursuing the wrong goals. Unless your plan is relevant to your overall life plan, achieving it may not accomplish anything. So if you look at my example, I wanted to learn French because I loved the way it sounded. However, I realized that learning the language would be completely useless for me. I barely know anyone that speaks French, and I don't really need to use it anywhere. So I stopped learning it as it was taking too much of my time while I was getting nothing out of it. Becoming fluent in French would be nice, but it is currently not relevant to my overall life plan. So ask yourself why you want to achieve your goal before you commit to it. T stands for time bound. This is one of the most important factors. Your plans must have a deadline. If you don't set a time limit, you have basically unlimited time to achieve your goals. When you are working on a deadline, your sense of urgency increases and you're more likely to achieve your goal. Think of your time in school. You had a whole month to write an essay, and yet it was done in the last 2 days. It's because the deadline was right around the corner, so you had no choice but to do it. So whenever you set a goal, keep a time limit in mind as it will push you to actually work on it. Now you know how to set SMART goals. But there's one last thing. Most people think that goal setting is a one-time event, like you set your goals once and you're done. However, it's actually an ongoing process. It never ends. Your plans will need evaluation and revision, so it's important to stay flexible. Thanks for watching. Do you have any dreams or goals that you're currently working on? I, for example, have a goal to run a marathon in the next 6 months. So let me know what you're working towards in the comments below. Together we'll
Give me just a second. Got something on here. Whoops. Okay. Thank you all for allowing me to show that video with you all. I love the video because it gave a visual of what SMART goals is like and took you step by step through the process. And I'm all about different ways of learning. So again, SMART stands for specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. So that's something that we definitely are talking about today. And I hope that you all were able to get a takeaway and just really kind of allow yourself to go in that space, if you will, of how to approach SMART goals. Something we're going to do now, because I believe in examples, I'm going to pull my PowerPoint back up because I know I just did something. So give me just a second. I can relocate it. Let's see something. Actually, I can just share straight because I was going to share some examples, but I can share it straight. One example that I'm going to share with you all is, and what I pulled the examples from, because I believe in sharing resources. I actually took the SMART goals from worksheet 7, which is in your peer-to-peer book, which is class 2. And I'll pull it back up in just a moment, but I'm using worksheet 7 for those of you who have access to your books. And I'm also using worksheet 8, which is wellness goals to consider. So if you could just journey with me, I'm going to be talking out loud, as well as, give me just a second, slight commercial break so I can pull back up something.
Yeah, so as Kenya is pulling that up, I just want to remind everyone that July, we have our BIPOC mental health awareness campaign going on. So we are in the process of coordinating a few different events. Last year, we focused on the history of BIPOC mental health. We focused on Black mental health, on Indigenous mental health. So we're really excited to look at different communities' mental health this year, find new ways to continue promoting mental wellness in different communities, especially in BIPOC and BIPOC communities. And, we're working right now with an organization that's founded by young Asian people living with disabilities and mental health conditions. So we're really excited to put on something in partnership with them. So we're really looking forward to providing some great programs for July. So look out for our emails about that. And Kenya, you can take it away.
I love it, teammanship. So now, many of you've seen this before, so it's not a surprise factor. This is an example that's again from class 2 worksheet 7. And it's a SMART goals example. And the first one says, I will what, for how much, by, for, and when. I know that sounds real wordy, but in short, I'm going to do an example. The first example we have there is, I will answer 10 emails by noon today. So the what is the 10 emails, and the how much is the what is the emails, of course, the how much is 10, and then the when is by noon. Another example, I will eat 1 piece of fruit 5 days this week. So again, the what is the piece of fruit, and then the how much is 5, and then it's during the week as far as the when. I will practice diaphragmatic breathing for 5 minutes at bed. That's supposed to say bedtime, excuse me. So I will practice diaphragmatic breathing for 5 minutes at bedtime. So again, practice diaphragmatic breathing, and then for how long? 5 minutes, and when? At bedtime. An example that I have, my personal example that I love to use is, I will make time for daily meditation 3 hours a day between 4 a.m. and 7 p.m., 7 a.m., or it could be 4 in the evening to 7 p.m. But bottom line is 3 hours a day for meditational and everything. So everybody has a different type of goal that works for them, a SMART goal that works for them. The question becomes, are we being realistic? Are we being realistic with ourselves as far as how we're setting our goals? And is it specific? Is it measurable? Is it attainable? Is it realistic? And most importantly, does it meet the time constraints that we set for ourselves? So before we dive into our practice exercise, I want this to be fun and engaging. So we're going to do some more shares. And because we're going to tie our goals into our wellness, since it's Wellness Wednesday. So something I want us to think about is wellness goals to consider. So self-care includes many types of healthy habits: staying physically active, eating a healthy diet, and getting the right amount of sleep all contributes to wellness. Limiting or eliminating tobacco, drugs, and alcohol can lead to improvements to our overall health. Taking care of small injuries or minor illnesses, getting regular health screenings, and seeing a professional when we need medical attention are also goals to consider. All right, now we're getting ready to dive into some good stuff in a moment. Examples of wellness goals, because again, Wellness Wednesday. Walk 10 minutes 3 times a day is an example. Follow a regular morning routine for personal care, such as showering, brushing your teeth, and choosing clean clothes. For eating fruits, vegetables instead of sugary snacks. List your personal signs of stress. Another example is practice relaxation techniques like that, the breathing and eating each day, setting and following regular evening routine, schedule a physical exam or a wellness check that many may hear that terminology used as well. Schedule a health screening, cancer screening, eye screening, any of those checks to keep your physical health in check. Create a personal health record, current medication, in short, you're journaling out those things that keep you well so that when you do see your medical provider, psychiatrist, or treatment team, you're coming to the table ready. So with that, because I said a lot, I'm gonna take a sip water. Water's good for you too. I'm gonna pause and I'm gonna ask you all to let's take about maybe, I don't want to say too long. Let's take 3 minutes. And if you don't have paper or pen in front of you, write down an example of a wellness goal that you can tie into a SMART goal. And I would like for you to either just keep it in your head, because some of you all, everybody does learning different, but those of you who need to write it down or type it out, definitely feel free to use the chat box or to write it on a piece of paper. And in 3 minutes, meaning at 4:35, I'm going to start randomly calling on people. So be ready. All right. I'm going to call up on a couple of people just to get us started, unless we have some volunteers who would like to go ahead and dive in. Cash, you see anyone?
No, but
Okay. Let's see. I'm looking at my little list. Colleen or Edith or Rachel, would either of you would like to share what you have as an example of a wellness SMART goal?
Sure, this is Colleen. And my SMART goal is to walk 20 minutes up a hill 2 times a day for at least 6 days a week.
You better work it out. That's an excellent SMART goal.
Thank you.
Very, very direct and to the point. I love it.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Edith? And you have a right to pass too if you don't feel in a place of comfort sharing right now. Okay. Rachel or Brian?
I'll go. Can you hear me?
Oh, yes, thank you.
It's actually a goal I've been working on for a long time, but every night for like 30 minutes to an hour, I do a reading, and I've been doing that for like 3 years now, and I find it very like almost like a mental exercise. I think it's a real helpful thing.
That's awesome. Inconsistent. I love it. 3 years, that's beautiful. Alexandria or Deidre? Okay. Tracy or Amanda? I think I hear someone trying to chime in. Is it Amanda? I think you're on mute.
Sorry.
Okay, I see movement.
I've also got our intern here, so we're doing this together.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Yes.
So my SMART goal is I have a couple doctor's appointments that I've been putting off, about 3 of them. So I am going to make those in the next week.
Yes.
And then mine was just to incorporate more fruits and vegetables into my meals, because usually I'm going fast and don't really feel like making them, but maybe like twice a week I can make a lot and then put it into my meals throughout the week.
Yes. And both of you all have something realistic that you can actually do. So I love the fact that it's realistic. Everything else about it is smart. So, and it starts with just knowing that you can do it. And kudos on the medical appointment as well. Appointments. All right. Thank you for sharing. Tracy, did you want to dive in? Mestawat?
You know, I have my knee problem. I walk inside my hallway, my home, back in the force, even if it's not 10 minutes, as much as I could. I have to do that.
Yes. And I like the fact you said, even if it's just 10 minutes, that's better than no time, right?
Yes.
That's a start. So that's good stuff.
I will.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Also, please feel free to use the chat box if anybody is just in a place where it's just a lot going on and you want to share, but you're just unable to talk verbally. The feature of the chat box is still available to you if you would like to share. Let me look at the chat box to see if we don't. Oh, okay. I'm glad I said that. Rachel says exercise for 30 minutes 3 times a week. I know that's right. Yes. Exercising 30 minutes 3 times a week is a great thing. And that's something that a lot of coaches talk about, at least getting 30 minutes in. Emil says, get a primary care physician. Emil, do you know like by when you're looking at getting one?
Well, I'm already past due. I had one. I was all set for to get a physical, and then 3 days before the exam, they said, "Oh, we're not taking new patients." So I'm just behind. I keep delaying it. So.
Okay, but at least it's in the atmosphere of you trying to do it, right?
Well, I got so discouraged by that. I got put off, but I shouldn't. Because why did they tell me they were going to see me, and then they said, well, we're not taking new clients, and now I'm like, oh God, is it like this because of COVID or what's going on here? how, and somebody had recommended this doctor to me, a friend of mine. So now it's just, I don't know, this is hard to do because insurance companies they don't want to recommend, they just tell you who's close in your area. But I have a car and I'm able to get around. So I just don't want to randomly pick somebody.
I totally agree with you on that because you want to make sure it's a good fit.
Yeah.
I totally get you on that.
Yeah, it's not
as easy as it comes across at times to so many people.
No, you're just picking somebody out of the blue. It's like, well, I don't know,
Definitely, just from an encouragement standpoint, as you're creating your plan of action, if you haven't done so already, definitely check with your peers or our colleagues, whoever you're comfortable, who's within your inner circle, just to kind of get some ideas of suggestions, as well as check with your network as far as like being able to weed out who you can go to and who you can't based upon those additional suggestions, so you can figure out what works for you.
All right.
But thank you for sharing that too, because that's a good SMART goal.
There's anxiety about it too. This is the kind of thing always sort of, it's a new thing. It's a change.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not always easy to deal with.
Change is not easy at all. So thank you. And definitely everybody who's creating SMART goals and just any type of goal, just as Jess was stated, know that it's not easy all the time to do something that's different from the norm, but being encouraged as long as you're making things that make sense to you and that's realistic to you. And many of us are peers. So for many of us, it could be something as simple as it may sound, but it's not simple when you're in that space. It could be just getting up out of bed for the day. For others of us, it might be, let me just practice good hygiene for the week, because many of us have been in the hospitals and things like that before. So just recalling our journey and getting back a sense of routine is just as important as for the wellness standpoint and staying well. So let's not forget our narratives as we're making the journey forward. Would anybody else like to share that didn't get an opportunity to share? Please feel free to use the chat box or to raise your hand. Let's see. Just pausing to make sure I'm paying attention to everybody. Okay. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to the next one. It's that time. Question and answer segment. So now the floor is open, the virtual floor that is. I have to remember we're on a computer. The virtual highways are open for questions and answer segment. So please feel free if you have any questions as it ties into SMART goals, being able to plan, to strategize. Please feel free to ask me those questions, whether you place them in a chat box, your question, or if you just raise your hand and ask it directly. Or if you just have an aha moment. I know that I don't have that on this page, but if you have an aha moment of like, wow, I really enjoyed that video, I think, or this particular part of the section spoke to me. So I'm gonna be quiet so we can hear each other, but definitely feel free to share.
Yeah, and also I would say if anyone had a SMART goal that they were thinking of, but kind of got stuck at a certain letter, right? Like maybe we can, as a team, troubleshoot how to make it a little more. Do you have an accountability partner with the goals that helps with success?
Oh, wow. Let me see that again.
Yeah.
I actually do. And let me share, I'm gonna be very transparent because that's all I know to do. When it comes to the accountability partner, one of my key accountability partner is two of them. You can probably laugh. One of them is my daughter, and she's 9. My other accountability partner is one of my dear friends who I've known over 21 years. And the reason those two are selected, my daughter, she just is, because she knows my every movement in the house. And then my close friend, because I was like, if I'm going to have an accountability partner, I need to be able to speak truth and be direct as far as where my flaws are, where my weaknesses are, and things like that. One of the things I've worked on within the last 2 years, I was 262 pounds, and now I'm like way under 200. So that what that looks like in a visual is that's going from a size 22 to like a size 12, in some cases 14, but mostly 12s. And that didn't happen overnight, but I had accountability and a coach along the way. And my daughter to this day, if I go downstairs at a certain time, she's like, "Mommy, what are you doing?" I'm like, she's like, "No, ma'am, you're supposed to get fruit and vegetables or something else to snack on." So it helps to have people in my corner, especially my little mini me, to keep me on a straight and narrow and to remind me when I'm having those weak moments to, you know, stay the course because I've worked hard for it. So yeah, thank you for asking that. Let's see. Any other questions, comments, concerns, ahas?
Yeah, I was just thinking that, you know, when you're thinking about who could be your accountability partner, that it's also okay to have different ones for different things, right? Like,
Yes.
Do I need some tough love on this goal, or do I need some support on this goal, and who can do that for you?
Yes, that's a good point. And just to kind of piggyback off of that, some of us have therapists that are awesome to work with. I know, for instance, I believe in using our statements. Like my therapist particularly, she is very good with processing. So I can say something to her maybe 2 weeks that would happen 2 weeks ago, and she'll remind me of that statement. So she's kind of an accountability partner of holding me accountable to whatever I put out there in the atmosphere. Like, Kenya, did you work on XYZ? Are you still staying the course with so-and-so? Because it makes me a sharper person, and deeper than that, making sure I'm being smart about the goals that I'm setting. Or is it something that I need to put off, maybe a 5-year plan versus a 1-year plan? Because sometimes we can put too much on our plate at one time and nothing's happening. So I think that's a good point you brought up, Cass. Also, going back to different types of accountability partners, sometimes there might be persons who are mentors who operate as an accountability mentor. You may not be super close with them, but they operate in that specific niche that you're needing support with, and you've seen them do a great and superb job in their area. So you're like, wait a minute, what are you doing? It's so unique, and how did you get there? And you can just ask those questions, and they're modeling it because they've already done it. So that's also helpful. Anybody else, or any other questions that you all can think of? Or Mestawat, did you have one?
I'm just get lost. What can I, based on what I have to talk, like?
Huh?
I mean the question. I missed the question you say.
You missed the question, she said?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
We're just asking if anyone had any comments, any questions, or if anyone, has some tips on, how they achieve some of their SMART goals. I know someone mentioned earlier that, there's anxiety around looking for a new primary care doctor, right? And I talked about this on one of our other sessions, that sometimes, when you're thinking about starting therapy, you have anxiety about starting therapy, which stops you from getting therapy, but you want the therapy to help with your anxiety, or going on medication and things like that, and you have anxiety about that. So if anyone has any tips about those things, Amanda, do you want to say something?
Sure. I really like talking about accountability partners because I've found that to be very helpful. I have ADHD, so staying organized and cleaning can be kind of tricky for me, and I get really off track. So what I've been doing when we both have time is, one of my good friends and I will have a Tuesday evening Zoom where we just both get on there and we both, chat, but also clean. So we spend the hour just doing whatever we need to do, and just having the presence of that person there. It's amazing what I get done in that hour compared to just, me wandering around the house by myself, picking up bit by bit. So.
Wow. That's a power session.
Yeah.
For me.
Sure.
I have long time staying home because of this my physical problem. Mentally, just I am just stable right now because it is staying home. You can imagine for this long time it is not easy, and COVID comes, and during that time the Zoom meeting is very helpful for me. Otherwise, just I sit and I watch news and I see YouTube, and I give like public comments. I love writing, just sometimes, but it is like by mood. When something like motivated me, I just give a comment or by writing, just on public comment sometimes.
You know what I would suggest, so our affiliates have so many different great programs and different meeting groups and other things. Last month for Stress Awareness Month, we held a journaling block. So every Tuesday at 12, we met and we journaled together. I know that NAMI New York City has a writing group that meets virtual. I think that, sometimes we're a little bit hesitant to join Zooms and try to connect that way because it's not what we're used to. But I think that a lot of people still do find connection and community. It's really just, getting past the anxiety of trying something new. But right, it's just about, taking that first step and trying something. And if it doesn't work, that's okay, and just try something different next time.
Yeah, I have also, writers workshop with different place, but I try to make my mind too busy. I don't have other choice. To make a friend, it is hard. I used to go church, but it is hard for me to go with friends. It is right now, I couldn't walk at all. It is very hard. If this Zoom meeting and having people like you, it's helpful, but I can't make friends because of my situation.
Thank you for sharing from the heart. That's really appreciated and encouraging. And thank you for allowing yourself to just be in this space to connect with others as well. One of the key things that takeaways I want to leave with each of you is a term that that I've come across as a certified peer specialist, and that is ITE. And ITE means I'm the evidence, I'm the expert, I'm the experience. And it helps to be able to recognize that as we all come to the table, we come to the table with something already in our hands, and that is the tool of the recovery experience. And as we embark upon the journey and continue to motion forward and progress in our recovery resilience, it's important that we set SMART goals so that we can see ourselves at a different space of growth each day. I reside in and work remote from Georgia, where I'm connected with the NAMI Georgia affiliate or state office. One of the directors there, her name is Kim, the executive director there, her name is Kim Jones, and she always says progress, not perfection. And that always sticks with me, because as we're making progress, we're going to stumble a little bit, we're going to fall some, and we're going to get back up. But the main thing is, are we getting back up? So as we make our forward movements, let's continue to be encouraged and stay in community like we're doing now. And I just want to pause and just give a shout out to each of you all and a virtual hug and say thank you for allowing me to be in your presence, but also thank you for allowing yourself to be present with us. And with that, I want to just say thank you. Turning it back over to Cass.
Thank you so much, Kenya. And thank you all again for joining us here today and sharing this space and being open and sharing your SMART goals with us. And I hope that, one thing that Kenya was saying earlier was that for some of us, there's certain things that that seem simple to other people, right? But are a little more difficult. And having SMART goals that, are attainable, keeping that in mind, that maybe it is just like waking up a little earlier, making sure you brush your teeth every day, making sure you're wearing clean clothes. For someone that can be a real challenge, and that's okay. Take it step by step, go with your level, and then, each time you can go forward to the next one. So taking it step by step. Thank you again so much, Kenya. I see that she's put up all her contact information. So, feel free to reach out to her, to us, if you need any resources. Kenya, did you want to add anything else?
Also www.NAMI-NYS.org. And also just be mindful that, as shared earlier by Cass, that there are a plethora of opportunities to support and be in connection for Mental Health Awareness Month. So definitely my hope to all of us, including myself, is that we don't feel alone or isolated in the midst of the pandemic. Definitely reach out and tap into the resources that are available to you.
Great, thank you. And again, this session has been recorded. It will be in tomorrow's e-newsletter. You can sign up for that if you go for our website, so you can receive our emails. It will also be on our YouTube channel, so you can subscribe to our YouTube channel and watch all of our previous recordings. And I hope that you will join us next Wednesday for our part 4, which is rethinking wellness. Thank you all again so much. And I hope that after this, you do something a little nice for yourself, something to promote your wellness today. Thank you all so much again, and have a great day.